So we just fired one of our clients and we made more money. Let me explain and give you this valuable lesson here. Literally, this is the screenshot where we just said, okay, enough is enough. We're going to have to let you go. We are no longer going to work with you. We wish you all the best. And then she followed up with, can we please work something out? I want to really work with you guys. Why did we do that? And then how do we make more money after that? Well, why did this happen in the first place? And this is the lesson that I want you guys to take away from this entire video is you need to have a very, very, very dialed in operations, number one. But then number two, you need to have actual boundaries for your business and your agency, right? Most people don't have that. Most people will just work with whoever, however, whenever, right? And that is the problem. That's what stops you from scaling. Because when you work with whoever, that means you're going to take on clients who don't respect you, don't respect your services, don't believe in your services. And they're going to want to do things in their own way. And then whenever, well, if you don't have enough back-end support, if you don't have enough chatters, enough marketing directors, etc., to take on a client, the whole thing breaks apart, right? You take on more clients, but then you're having to quickly get more chatters and they're probably not the best. So then that's a problem. And then how you do it is the biggest thing is, well, for us, for example, we have very, very particular ways on how we do onboarding, how we do chatting, how we do marketing. And if the client does not want to follow the way we do things, no problem, but goodbye. Like you will just not work with us. And that's not because we're horrible and it's not because we're mean people or we think we know the best out of everybody on this planet Earth. It's just that we are working based off of our own results, based off of our own proof of concept that what we do simply works. And if a client does not follow that and wants to do it in their own way, that's fine. But we cannot take responsibility for the results that will come from their actions, from their strategies. You understand? So in this particular story, what happened is we onboarded this client. She was doing around $20,000 a month. And it took her around 4 days to fill out the model information sheet, which typically takes an hour. An hour, maybe an hour and a half if you really want to spend extra time on it, but it takes about an hour. So it took her 4 days to do that. And then after that, we then logged in and we begun the audit. So we have a very particular way of how we do things. We first of all get the model information sheet filled out. Then we go ahead, log into the account. We do a full, thorough audit of not only the OnlyFans accounts, but also their social media and so on. And then before we start any of the chatting, before we start any of the actual work, we go ahead and have an onboarding call with the client to tell her what do we find, what we need to change, and what will happen moving forward. We have to do that before we start doing everything to manage expectations, right? And this particular client was like, no, don't worry about it. I don't need to hear about it. Just get on with it. Just start the chatting. No, that's not how we do things. And again, for you as an agency owner, most likely who's watching this, why am I doing that? Why am I being so anal about we have to do it in this particular way? Well, let me explain to you and paint you a picture as to what would happen if we didn't do that. If we didn't do that, because we have done this many, many times, what will happen is the client will log into the OnlyFans account. She will see that we are doing chatting in a particular way that she doesn't want us to. Maybe we're talking to a fan that she didn't want us to. Maybe we're selling content that she didn't want to, or maybe we're selling it at a price she didn't want to. And all of a sudden, this is an issue. This is a problem now. But how the fuck were we meant to know that? If the client is not going to tell us that, and if we cannot pre-warn her, hey, this is what the first week, first month, second month, and third month is going to be like, how are we able to actually deliver a service that she's super happy with when we're not aligned? How is that possible? So you have to have these things in place, and you cannot bend over for any client, and you have to be very regimented about them, because if you have these principles, if you have these boundaries in place, but you don't actually do anything about them, then they're meaningless, then they're pointless. And this goes more so for your whole team, right? Because if your team thinks, okay, like you're telling me to do this one thing for this one client, and then now you onboarded this new client, and now you're expecting us to do this thing for this client, how do you want me to actually do all these things? And it's impossible to scale.
Hey, real quick, just before you go, if you found this video valuable and you can't wait to implement the things that I already taught in this short video, I have so much more to show you. So this right here is an operational system that I built on how I run my own agency. And this is what you need to implement in order to actually finally take yourself out of the agency and it runs by itself and you can scale to those multiple 7-figure a month months. So this is not for beginners. If you're just starting out, this is not going to be for you. But if you are an existing agency owner and you're struggling to scale to those multiple 6 or 7 figure months, this is what you need. It has everything on your client acquisition, to onboarding, to marketing, to chatting, to team management, all the systems and infrastructure that you need in order to actually consistently scale and get rid of all the bottlenecks. So if you want to get direct access to this entire board, I've written down all the problems and all the solutions that each section has and everything in between. You can zoom in and see all of these sections on how they work. Make sure you click the first link down below on this video, fill in the details, and whatever you answer on the questionnaire, you're going to get a personalized board of this. So if you say that marketing is your problem, you'll specifically get a board specifically for marketing, and so on and so on. So go ahead and click the link down below, and also leave a like on the video, man. Thank you so much.